Thank you, Chair, and good morning, members of the Planning Commission. This request is a combined preliminary and final plat approval of Trosvik Edition, which is a 2-lot, 1-block subdivision located at 1806 East Fir Avenue. The subject property and plat area is a 3.12 acre parcel. It's zoned I-2 General Industrial District. There are currently 5 buildings on the parcel. The uses of the buildings range from professional offices and services, contractor yard, and other industrial storage. The parcel is the result of a prior split, and so therefore this now proposed subdivision must go through the city's planning process. This is an aerial map with the subject property highlighted in red. Surrounding uses to the west, there's actually a small, tiny width parcel, which is just vacant land. To the south is a service garage and storage facility in that northeast corner. So what used to sort of basically be a kind of more square parcel, that was all one parcel, and then this was the result of that prior split. But that is that gas station and convenience store in that northeast corner. To the east of that is just, again, vacant land and an unnamed lake. And to the north across East Fir Avenue is a single-family detached dwelling. The zoning map, there's no rezoning proposed with this, so that subject property is zoned I-2 General Industrial. To the west, that narrow strip of vacant land is zoned R1. One family residence district, but again, it's not used for any residential purposes. The northeast corner, the site of that gas station convenience store, is B2, the service business district, and the east, that other stretch of vacant land with the unnamed lake is also R1, one family residence district. And of course, across East Fir Avenue to the north, that site of that one family dwelling is the R1 one family residence district. So although there is a bunch of this R1 zoning around the area, it's really not being used for residential purposes except for the ones across East Fir Avenue. This is just an excerpt of the preliminary plat. We can certainly pull up the full PDF version if the Planning Commission has any questions. I've just noted 2 things on here. The first is an ingress-egress easement that will run from East Fir Avenue to provide public right-of-way access to that Lot 2. Otherwise, Lot 2 would be landlocked. And then I've also highlighted an existing building that will be split by a new common lot line, and that will be addressed in a development agreement, which we'll talk about when we get to the staff recommendation. And this is just the final plat, so with the combined, they've just given us one preliminary plat and one final plat. So the final plats are a little bit different in that we take off contours and buildings. So this is just essentially what will be recorded when the subdivision is complete. As far as the public and staff comments, notices were mailed to the property owners and published in the Daily Journal. That unnamed lake is on the public waters inventory, so a notice was emailed to the DNR area hydrologist. No comments from the DNR were received prior to the public hearing, and there weren't any public comments or questions received prior to the public hearing. The city engineering department did note that existing building would be split by that new common lot line. And so it was the intention of the parties that building was going to be demolished anyway. So there would just be a development agreement that puts a timeline. Not helpful. That puts a timeline on that requirement. So for the staff recommendation, staff are recommending approval with conditions of the preliminary and final plat. And that proposed condition is just that development agreement to put that timeline on the removal of that existing building that will be split by lots 1 and 2. And so that removal date is proposed to be June 30th, 2024, which was agreeable to the applicant as well as the city staff. The applicant is here today if you had any questions. Otherwise, I can answer any questions that the Planning Commission has at this time. Thank you.
Any questions from commission members for Karin?
Is there access off Water Plant Road to Lot 2, Block 2?
There are some existing curb cuts that kind of go through that little strip of, that's a separate property owner that's adjacent to Water Plant Road, but I'm not aware if there's any private agreements. Water Plant Road is not dedicated city right of way.
Okay.
Any other questions? If not, we'll open the public hearing. If you'd like to speak to this, please state your name and address for the record. Mr. Layton, would you like to add anything? No. Okay. Then we'll close the public hearing and bring it back to the commission for action. The motion or?
Yes, yeah, I'll motion to approve the recommendation with the conditions that they enter into a development agreement to demolish the existing structure by June 30th of 2024.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That passes. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay, we're done. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.